Hi there, Ghouls and Ghoulettes, it's your friendly neighborhood cosplay Chris here. Before we get started on the video, I just want to apologize for the odd sounding audio. As soon as I finished doing my review and hit stop on the camera, I realized my lapel mic wasn't plugged in. And by then, I had said everything I needed to say, and I poured my heart and soul into this video. Not really, but I just had everything I needed to say. So I do apologize for the odd sounding audio. You can still hear me loud and clear, but just if you're wondering why the audio sounds a little bit tinny, it's just coming from the camera directly. So apologies for that. I managed to clip my microphone in. Joke's on me. Probably Rob Zombie's way of saying F you. I don't blame him. Enjoy. What's happening, my fellow ghouls and ghoulettes? Welcome to a brand new episode of Cosplay Chris. And today I'm going to be doing a movie review of Rob Zombie's The Munsters. Now, I was able to get access to an early screener and check the film out. I say film in quotations. Now, I'm not going to say, oh, this is a spoiler-free review. There's no fucking spoilers in this movie. It's not a superhero movie. Relax. Now, most of you know The Munsters from the 1960s. If you don't, check it out. It also makes me feel old if you don't. And it was announced a few years ago that Rob Zombie was going to be doing a movie based on The Munsters, and I'm not going to lie, I was really intrigued, and I was kind of psyched, because I thought, wow, is he going to go dark and like trailer trash with this? But no, he was actually going to stay original to the source material and the original roots of the show. Now granted, there have been certain incarnations of the Munsters from the 60s onwards. I think there was one in the 80s, there was one in the 90s in terms of movies and specials. I highly recommend checking out Joe of Hats Off Entertainment here on YouTube. He does some cracker videos, especially when it comes to the Munsters remakes and a Munsters Christmas and stuff like that. Like, the Munsters has been through the ringer, much the same like the Addams Family. It's funny, a lot of people are either like Team Addams Family or Team Munsters, or just both. I like to think both. Like, I didn't really watch the Munsters when I was younger, it was mostly the Addams Family, but when it was on, I checked it out. And again, it's not Hamlet. Like, it's not gonna win any Oscars or Emmys anytime soon, it's just silly fun. And yeah, this movie is silly fun, but it's fucking stupid. You know me, Ghouls and Ghoulettes, I always try to be a glass half full kind of guy and just see the good in everything. But when that first trailer came out, actually, let me just go back one more notch. When that teaser trailer came out and it was emulating the opening sequence of the original TV series of The Munsters, and it was in black and white, it looked really good. I thought, oh, it's kind of clever. They even had the old school Universal logo with the plane going around it. Really cool. Then the official first trailer came along. And holy shit, if I had told you guys I had edited that in iMovie, you'd believe me. The thing is, the way that trailer is carries over to the entire film. The film is like an hour 45. You know that text at the beginning of the trailer? That's the text for the opening credits. They didn't change it or anything. So this is an origin story. This is how Herman Munster meets Lily Munster before they have their kids, and then they subsequently move to the United States. Now, the film stars Jeff Daniel Phillips as Herman Munster. We've also got Rob Zombie's wife, Sherry Moon Zombie, as Lily Munster, and Dan Roebuck as Grandpa, and also featuring the guy from Lost. Fun fact, Dan Roebuck was actually originally cast as Marv in Home Alone. Apparently he didn't have good on-screen chemistry with Joe Pesci, so they fired him. In comes Daniel Stern. The things you know. And that's pretty much it. It's just an origin story of how Herman and Lily meet. We also see the creation of Herman in the lab. Apart from that, there's not much going on between the ears with this movie, Ghouls and Ghoulettes. Look, don't get me wrong. Like I said with the original Munsters, it's not Hamlet. It's not Shakespeare. It's going to be something that's groundbreaking, but man, this film is an hour 40 odd of cringe. It's painful. If you can put all of that aside, if you know full well going into this, it's just going to be stupidity and it's just going to be awful, but you can have fun with it, yes, it is a good time. If you've got your mates coming over, pop some beers, get some takeaway pizza and just roast this film, or just have a bit of commentary with your mates, yes, it is a good time. But apart from that, what we saw in that trailer is exactly how this film is. Even some of the audio looping and the sound mixing still seems off, and this is the completed film. This screener was a version of the completed film. I will say, these are my positives to take away from this film. The makeup, the costumes, the set design, the production design is fucking stunning. The color palette is gorgeous. The makeups are incredible. The creature suits, the creature makeups, the costumes, Everything is beautiful. I don't know what the budget for this was. It was reported that it was like 40 million. Rob Zombie then came out and said, no, that's bullshit. Like 40 million combined is like 3 of my films in terms of budget. So I don't know what the budget was. Maybe someone can let me know in the comments section. But it just seems like the whole budget went to the costumes, the makeup, and the production design. The writing is just not on point. You try and have that kind of snappy, quirky humor, especially with the Munsters, and it's just not there. It's forced, and it's just painful to watch. Now, the film was shot in Budapest, Hungary, which, yeah, just makes total sense to film a Munsters movie there. But they've gone ahead and built the full Mockingbird Lane house. It looks brilliant. The sets are gorgeous. Like, everything has just got so much going for it in terms of the visuals. That's all well and good, but if you don't have a solid script and solid acting and solid dialogue, it just kind of goes to waste and by the wayside. Don't get me wrong, Jeff Daniel Phillips, Sherry Moon Zombie, and Dan Roebuck are trying their best. The standout is Dan Roebuck as Grandpa. He's phenomenal. He's great. He's actually one of the funniest in the entire film. But in terms of Jeff Daniel Phillips' portrayal as Herman, it doesn't hold a candle to the original actor who portrayed Herman Munster. It's crazy what happens when there's a shift in voice. Like, you have to have that beautiful commanding voice that the original actor had as Herman Munster, but in terms of Jeff Daniel Phillips' voice, it sounds like he's having a testy pop every couple of seconds. I'm looking for a vision until you came into my life. And yes, it still sounds like that in the movie. It sounds like someone just hit the volume down button on the mixing board. And again, I was really excited for this movie. Before any photos came out, I thought this was gonna be Rob Zombie's return to grace and like good form, because he's had some stinkers in the last couple of years, especially 3 from Hell. That wasn't one of his strongest films, and it's disappointing because House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil Rejects are great films. They're fucking batshit insane, but they're different. And that's the thing, Rob Zombie always dares to be different. That's what I respect about him. I love the man's music. I'm a big fan of his music. And also I'm a fan to some extent of the first Halloween he did. Halloween 2, not a big fan at all. Love A House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil Rejects. But then when 3 from Hell came along, it didn't live up to the expectations of the original 2. And I feel sorry for the guy. I don't want to shit on someone's hard work. Making movies is fucking hard. From the beginning right to the end, everyone involved, it's a hard slug. But hell, this is tough. This was tough to sit through, Ghouls and Ghoulettes. Again, you just have to have the mindset that this is silliness, this is cringiness, and it's just, I don't know, like, And then you got Sherry Moon Zombie trying to do an impression of the original Lily Munster, but it comes off as sort of airheady. Oh no, I think we'll just go somewhere else, Herman. Like Herman's voice, man, it's just so different. Fred Gwynne, that's the original actor. Sorry, I couldn't think about it. Fred Gwynne's voice was so commanding as Herman. He was this giant. But then obviously with Jeff Daniel Phillips, who's tall but not Fred Gwynne tall, just doesn't have that commanding voice. And in the film, he's written to be a comedian when he comes to life, and that's kind of his shtick. He's on TV, and that's where Lily spots him for the first time, and Grandpa's obviously worried about this. He's worried about his daughter, whether she's making the right choice to be dating someone like Herman, and he's just a fucking buffoon. Think Thor in Love and Thunder. It's just, he's a bit of a dickhead. Again, Ghouls and Ghoulettes, you know I always try and see the good in everything, and I know that's rubbed people the wrong way. You know, you love everything. Well, no, just try and see the good in everything. But it was really hard to see the good in this film, but it's obviously self-aware that it's stupid, but I think people were expecting a lot more because people are very protective of the Munsters. It's like when the Addams Family films came out in the early 90s with Raul Julia and Angelica Houston. They were perfectly done. They still stand the test of time. I still love those films, Addams Family 1 and Addams Family Values, because they paid homage to the original source material. And I think Rob Zombie's tried to do that, and this was his love letter to the Munsters, but it just came off as like a Hallmark movie. If I saw this as an ad for Allstate Insurance, I'd buy it. I'd be like, yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty good production value. Are you in good hands? More like, are you in good hands? It's one of those things where I think this film is going to be very subjective. A lot of people are going to be like, I enjoyed it, I had fun with it. Others are going to be like, oh, it's painful. I just couldn't get into it. And I knew full well going into this, it's not going to be a masterpiece. It's not going to have this avant-garde approach to it. But man, it was just cringy, like really cringy. I will say though, once again, the production design, the sets, the costumes, the makeup are absolutely stunning. Dan Roebuck as Grandpa is a standout in this. You even have Elvira in this film. Look, if I were to give this a rating, Ghouls and Ghoulettes, I'm probably gonna have to give it 1 jack-o'-lantern out of 5. That's a first on the channel. So the film comes out in a couple of days on streaming and on Blu-ray, digital download and all that stuff. So like I said, I was able to get access to an early screener. I wanted to check it out. I've been very curious about it since day one, since Rob Zombie announced it. But whew, oh boy. So guys, once you have checked out Rob Zombie's The Munsters, drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. Again, this isn't Shakespeare, this isn't Hamlet, this isn't going to be anything groundbreaking, and I knew full well going into it, it's going to be silly and stupid. But man, it was really silly and stupid and just, yeah, I couldn't get into it. You know me, I'm always trying to be like, have fun with it, but it was an experience. Put it that way. So thanks very much for watching, guys. Later this week, I will have the full video up on casting and painting this beautiful 1:1 scale Freddy's Dead, the final nightmare bust. He is done and dusted for now. I still have to do my full display. I am thinking of doing like a wall mountable torso display with a floating hand with the gloves, so look forward to that. Also, the Phantom cosplay is done and dusted. I've done the photos and the video footage with the amazingly talented Kim Quinn, and hopefully that video is also going to drop this coming week. Kim is busy editing the footage as we speak. He says it looks great, and I was very happy with what we saw on the day in terms of Kim showing me stuff on the camera. He's a genius. You know him, he did the Witcher teaser trailer for when I did the Geralt cosplay, so looking very forward to showing you guys that. But in the meantime, with that being said, wherever you are in the world, please have yourselves an absolute cracker of a day. I hope you will. Hope you're happy. Be merry, be silly. And until next time, ghouls and ghoulettes, please always remember, cosplayers do it best.